What is up everybody, Slimy Lemon here, and welcome to my guide on how to get the blood diamond for Desert Treasure. Keep in mind, you do not have to look into all the mirrors in order to start searching for the diamonds, and they can be collected in any order. Let's get into it. Section 1, what you will need. Before you fight the boss Dazoo, you will need to put together a concoction of spice, blood, and crushed garlic in a blessed silver pot in order to initiate the fight. I will show you how to put this together. Here's what you will need. 1 silver bar, 1 spice, note, gnome spice will not work, 1 pestle and mortar, optional garlic. This can be obtained during the quest. Here are some items which will cut down the time it takes to get the diamond. Glory for the Draenor teleport, Fenconstrain's castle teleport for an easy route to Canifis, Draymond staff or Lunar staff for fairy ring teleports, Artie cloak for an easy route to a fairy ring. You will need to gear up later. However, you have to visit Entrana before you fight Dazoo, which means banking any combat gear. So I've left this until later on in the guide. Section 2. Preparation. Now that you have the required items, it's time to head to Canifis. I'm going to use my Artie Cloak teleport, which puts me outside the Kandarin Monastery. From here, I can walk directly east and find myself at a fairy ring. Use the code CKS to be teleported just outside of Canifis. An ectophile can also be used, however it requires a bit of a run. Enter the pub. As you do, you will be given a cutscene of Malik talking to the bartender. Once this is over, talk to Malik and select the option, I am looking for a special diamond. Select yes to the agreement. Select where can I find Dazoo. Select how can I kill Dazoo. And finally, select actually I don't need to know anything. Once you've finished the dialogue, use the Draenor teleport on your glory. If you do not have garlic yet, make your way to the house with the quest symbol on it. Walk up the stairs, search the cupboard for garlic. Exit the house and make your way southeast towards the Draenor jail. On the west side of the jail is a trapdoor. Go down and you will find yourself in a sewer. Continue until you see the anvil symbol. There you will find Rauntun. Go through the dialogue and he will make you a silver pot out of your silver bar. Once you have this, you will need to have it blessed. Make your way back to Draenor Bank and deposit any combat related items. Make sure you bring your Canifis teleportation method with you to save time. In this case, I will be taking my glory to teleport out of Entrana, as I am not allowed to bring a Draymond staff or Artie cloak with me. After banking everything, head west to Port Sarim and travel to Entrana. Make your way to the church and talk to the high priest. He will bless your silver pot. After it is blessed, use your preferred method of returning to Canifis and head back to Malik. If you guys are wondering why I don't have any quest items in my inventory, it's because I've already completed the quest, obviously. I'm just rerunning through it using my character at the moment and throwing in clips that I got from my Iron Man. When you talk to him this time, he will deal some damage in order to fill up a pot with your blood, which is the last ingredient for the concoction. Add the spice, crush your garlic with the pestle and mortar, and add it to make a blessed silver pot filled with blood, garlic, and spices. Section 3. Fight Preparation. Now that we have our concoction, it is time to gear up to fight Dazoo. Here is what you'll need. First of all, do not forget your pot of blood. In each of the boss battles throughout Desert Treasure, each of them has a weakness to a certain elemental spell, which means we will be using a mage setup. In this case, Dazoo is weak against air spells, so bring along 100 to 150 casts of Wind Blast. Here is a basic but effective setup using Full Mystic, an air battle staff, a glory for the 10 plus magic attack bonus, and a couple of rings of recoil to combat the consistency of hits. This setup can be swapped out for basic wizard robes, however you will need to make sure that you stay with monkfish or sharks. Let's take a look at the items I have in my inventory. I have 2 stamina potions to cut down the time it takes to get to Dazoo. These can be replaced with super energies. 1 magic potion to boost our magic, 1 super defense potion to compensate for using mage gear, 2 more rings of recoil to swap over, around 20 monkfish, these can be replaced with swordfish or sharks, and finally 100 to 150 death runes to cast Wind Blast. Section 4. The route. Now that we are geared up, we're ready to make our way to the graveyard Dazoo is located in. Here is a map I have created to show you the 2 routes you can take in order to reach the graveyard. The first route is the one in red. This is the long way. If you have not completed In Search of the Myrick, you will have to take this route, or you can go through the Mortmire Swamp, which is shown in the Desert Treasure Guide on RS Wiki. For this guide, I will be making my way to the graveyard using the purple route. Note, it may be a good idea to bring a druid pouch acquired during the Nature Spirit quest to ward off any ghasts which decay your food. Starting at the Canifis Bank, head out the door and make your way south behind the pub. Enter the trapdoor and continue south. Exit out the cave and head south again over the wooden bridge. This is where the ghasts start to come in. If you have bought a charged druid pouch, you will not need to worry about your food being decayed. Follow your selected route until you arrive at the graveyard. Section 5. The Fight. Here are some quick things you may need to know about Dazoo. His melee attack is powerful, his magic and ranged defense is much weaker than his melee defense. He will teleport next to you if you use a protect prayer. Finally, I've heard if he teleports 3 times, he will return to his coffin and you will need to make another concoction to fight him again. However, I have not experienced this. When you have arrived, you will need to stand next to the coffin and use your blessed pot on the tomb to awaken Dazoo and initiate the battle. It's very important you do not activate any protect prayers. Once you awaken him, immediately click on the tile behind the fence I have highlighted on the screen. The reason you stand here is so that his melee is not activated as he uses magic, range, and melee. From here you can mage him until he is dead. Unfortunately, I do not have footage of me fighting him with mage gear. However, I do have footage from my Iron Man in which I made many mistakes. I will highlight these mistakes and explain to you what I did wrong. Let's take a look at my inventory. First of all, I had lobsters rather than sharks or monkfish. I did not bring my druid pouch, which resulted in the decay of one of them, and I did not bring any rings of recoil either. As for my gear setup, I wore Initiate for prayer, however I could have just brought full Mystic alongside a defense potion. When I initiate the fight, I do not stand behind the fence, and I also activate my protect prayers, which caused him to teleport and allowed him to hit me with his melee, which you can see hits quite hard. Luckily for me, I get the hits I needed throughout the fight, but I only won by the skin of my teeth. I could have avoided using prayer and his melee if I had just stood behind the fence. Once you have defeated Dazoo, you can now head back to Malik with your preferred method. You will then be given a blood diamond for your efforts, and this chapter of the quest is over. Do not forget that a rogue could appear at any time and try to kill you once you have acquired at least one of the diamonds. Anyway, that's it for this guide, peeps. I really hope it helps you and I hope it was easy enough to understand. I will be making guides for the other diamonds as well, and I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. If you would like to check out any of my other videos, they'll be on the screen right now, and have a lovely day.